It takes a very special athlete to do it. It also takes a special kind of mental toughness to be successful at it. And so I think that in the process of everything from the release at the line of scrimmage through the completion of the play, there are a lot of things, a lot of techniques that go on, a lot of fundamentals. And if any one of them is out of sync, a good receiver with a well-thrown ball is going to beat you. And so for each of our kids, each of those things, one little wrinkle along the way creates an issue. And so there weren't, everybody's doing this thing wrong, and it wasn't, everybody's got this deficiency. I don't think they're deficient at all. I think that it was some unfortunate things, and I think that they've worked really hard to fix it.
Have you followed Indiana's passing game since
No.
you played them? Because it's really dropped off. Is it possible that, are they just flukes, just bad games that aren't really a statement about play or players? It's just one of those days?
I guess that's possible. I would probably remind everybody that in our unit room, there's only 2 guys that were in there last year. Everybody else in that room is new, and that was a big game on a big stage in, a somewhat hostile environment, and they attacked them, and I don't think we handled it very well. And I think that was my job to have them ready for that. And so, if they're not ready for that, that's on me. So I think that, and then follow that up with Oklahoma, who's obviously very good. Their quarterback's a very good player. They actually played much better against Oklahoma. There weren't as many targets, as many plays there. But that's real grown man conversation in our room now. But we, that first week we didn't play very well.
Kerry, Jeffrey Okudah.
Would you be if you don't have a kickoff return for a touchdown this year?
You know what? I think that what we want to do, I'll be disappointed if we don't. But what we want to do on every single opportunity is do our job, block our man, block him as hard as we can for the length of the play, let a great player have some space to make a play, and see where he ends up. I think our chances are pretty good. He's going to end up pretty good.
Kerry, Jeff Okudah is a guy that's played a lot for a true freshman, especially at a place like this. Is he on the verge of
more plays than any other freshman in the time that I've been here.
Oh, very interesting. Okay. Yeah. Is he on the verge of playing even more?
Sure.
Just speak about his skills. Okay. Yeah.
The reality is that at our position in the course of a season, you need guys to play, and I remind our guys in our room all the time. We're watching Maryland film this week from last year's game. Well, guess who's out there? Damon Arnett. He's playing corner. He's the 4th corner. You got to have, last year he was the 4th corner, right? We had 3 guys alternating in a nickel. And so we got to have that guy. And Jeff's got to be that guy. And Marcus Williamson's got to be that guy. And Sean Wade's got to get healthy and be that guy. And so the reality is we don't have enough. We need to recruit some more, and we need to have continued development. But Jeff will and should play more as the year goes on.
When you talk about Jeff like that, and he's played more as a freshman, is that just a reflection of the situation, or is he doing some things as a true freshman that are rare for a corner?
I think he's really good. I don't know about rare for a freshman.
Rare for a freshman.
Rare for a freshman here. Once again, what we do here, now the great thing for Jeff is he came in January, and Jeff and Sean and Marcus got a real good taste of it beforehand. I don't think he would have been able to do it necessarily. I don't know that he wouldn't have, because some of our, by necessity, got to play some. But at the same time, he works really hard. He's going to be in there after practice tonight watching film. He was in there last night after practice watching film. He understands what it takes to be successful, and he's working really hard at it.
He was ranked as the #1 corner in the country. A lot of times those 5-star kids come in with a sense of entitlement. That does not seem to be the case with Jeff.
Yeah, entitlement doesn't last very long here, as you can imagine.
You'd break him down
anyway.
anyway.
In our room. And but I got pictures of a lot of really good players on the wall, and I remind those guys: Bradley Orby didn't play a snap as a freshman. Garyon Conley didn't play a snap as a freshman. Eli Apple didn't play a snap as a freshman, and Garyon Marchand. None of them did. Right. So to come in here and play as a freshman is hard. It's challenging. But we expect you to be able to do that, and I want them to. I really do.
When we talk about the kick return stuff again, we know Paris is a track guy by nature, and we know there's fast guys here all over the place.
Right.
Is there anything about him as a track guy that back there?
Oh yeah, track guys are critical, but big track guys are really important because you're going to have a tackle you got to break. I had a scheme last week that wasn't outstanding. I didn't do a great job on the opening kickoff against Rutgers, and a guy came clean, and that's not a good thing. But Paris broke that tackle, and now he's out to the 36-yard line. And so if you have a guy who has that kind of speed, but also can break a tackle like that, it's spectacular. And so he's the perfect prototypical kickoff returner from a body type and speed standpoint.
It almost looks like, I mean, it's like the starting gun going off when you catch that ball, right? I mean, he's just natural in that open field.
And you have to have vision. And you know, the two unsung heroes are Tough Borden and KJ Hill, because they're the guys that are seeing where the openings are and picking up the trash and letting Paris, you know, find a seam to get through.
Last question.
A guy like Amir, really dynamic on coverage.
Yeah.
How often does that translate for you that you've seen to being an outstanding corner?
Oh, he's got a ways to go.
Like down the
he's
road.
gonna be. He's gonna be a really good football player.
He's from a good high school, right?
Yeah, he had a pretty good high school program. Fearless,
good coach,
fearless kid. He wasn't. Who Bolden? He had a. He plays with a fearless tenacity that it's hard to give somebody, and because of that, he'll be a great Ohio State football player. I really believe that. Once again, you got a lot of true freshmen out there playing some pretty neat roles on this team and special teams right now.
Sean, how far away is he in terms of health? I mean,
I think we're looking at another week or two. You know, I'd really like to have him back in the bye week so I can work with him in the bye week to try to get him ready. But I'll tell you the thing about him is he shows up for everything. He's ready to go and he's gung ho.
What's his injury, real quick?
I don't know.
You don't want to get into it?
I don't
Is
even
it?
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Upper body, lower body?
Lower body.
Okay.
But I don't, you know, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Left body or right body?
We're going hockey terminology on you
Yeah,
here.
that's a no.
The brain below the brain.
Is a red shirt on the table for Sean? Or are you still hoping?
We don't plan a red shirt anybody. I think our expectations are kids like Pete Werner running down kickoff and blowing people up, and Brendan White playing last week, and we're not red shirt. I don't think Coach Meyer's expectation red shirt anybody. Let's play them all. Let's play them
Thanks,
all.
Coach.
Yeah.
thanks.
Thanks.